Mike Steph, this marks a new beginning. Thanks for supporting a total reinvention. The soul is still here, but the vibe's a little different. Unpredictable, hide the kids and the women. Sports of all sorts, music, mixed with living. Rep New York City, but ain't the politician. Always bring the heat, Steph, bacon in the kitchen. Big shout to y'all, I appreciate the listen. Donnie put the rest, but I'm still in the best. In the world of what I do, all y'all know the rest. I live it, I breathe it, I'm the whole definition. The pinnacle, the ultimate, I'm on a new mission. The salty thoughts of Mike Steph, featuring the one and only Mike Steph, the best in the world of what he does. Tap in.
Don't you know that I'm still standing better than I ever did? Looking like a true survivor, feeling like a little kid. I'm still standing after all this time, picking up the pieces of my life without you on my mind. I'm still standing. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I'm still standing. Yeah, yeah, yeah. What up, people? Welcome to another edition of the Salty Thoughts of Mike Steph podcast, featuring the one and only Mike Steph, best in the world at what he does. Yeah, man. And this week, the moniker I'm going under is the Black Dove Heffernan. For those of y'all who tuned into, well, who haven't watched The King of Queens, who know what The King of Queens is, that's one of my favorite sitcoms ever because it's so asinine and juvenile and stupid, but at the same time, it has like a little sliver of reality of, well, childless marriage, but marriage nevertheless. And a lot of time being the fact I wear a uniform for a living, and I love me some snacks. I always used to call myself the Black Duck Heffernan. Said the King of Queens, King of Crown Heights. Yeah. So with all that being said, yes, another edition of the Salty Thoughts of Mike Steph podcast. This week is going to be a very multifaceted edition of the show because I have a lot of things, a lot of different interests, a lot of different topics, a lot of different subjects that I want to get into. And once again, y'all don't know how close y'all were to not getting a new episode this week. But once again, I decided not to deprive the masses, not to deprive the world, not to deprive the YouTube population of this beautiful debonair mug of mine, this simply ravishing body, this dashing face. So I said, you know what? I'm going to cobble something together, and I'm going to give it to you, and you, and you, and you, and of course, my trusty Stitch is still riding shotgun. I'm going to give you a rundown of what's going on this week so y'all can catch up, or at least y'all can keep up, because I'm letting y'all know once again, I'm going to be all over the place. But trust and believe, you will enjoy it. Better enjoy it. This week, I'm going to give a small recap of this past weekend's divisional round playoff action in the NFL, in which we are down to the final four. The final four. In the AFC, we have the Kansas City Chiefs. I roll my eyes because I really thought this was going to be the year they get bumped. And to tell you the truth, I used to be a Chief supporter, but now I'm not going to lie, I'm kind of bored of them. But the Kansas City Chiefs are entering their sixth straight AFC Championship game, this time against the Baltimore Ravens, headed by MVP, or soon-to-be MVP, Lamar Jackson. But this time, guess what? going to be in Be More. Well, not this time because I remember last time, if any, they ever faced off. But regardless, not going to be at Arrowhead Stadium. So, yeah, that's one of the matchups. Other matchups we have in the NFC is the upstart Detroit Lions. Yeah, the usually downtrodden Detroit Lions going to the Bay to go against the San Francisco 49ers, who advanced by the very skin of their teeth, by the very hairs of their chinny chin chin. And chinny chin chin. So I'm going to give a little recap of how those four teams ended up being the matchups in the championship games in the respective conferences. After that, I'm going to go and delve into some New York City politics. Yeah, it's been a long time. From Nurse Jackie has made another appearance. Nurse Jackie, aka Governor Hochul. There's been some bullshit lately. Tell you the truth, the whole New York City, Mayor Benson, Mayor Adams, he's been on some bullshit too. So some of it, actually, all of it actually affects yours truly, being the fact that I reside in the city of Gotham. But even more close to home, I have to relay a situation that happened to me last week concerning the newest initiatives going on in the city. And never mind about the fact that our tax money is going elsewhere, but I'm not going to get too ahead of myself. I will save that for the actual segment. And last but not least, I will give a very quick synopsis of my gambling forays this past weekend, which, tell you the truth, this is the first weekend I could truly say that I was actually angry. Yeah, I know a lot of times I come like, Mike Steph must have bumped his mother effing head. Yeah. And I'm not going to say that's feigned anger, but at the end of the time, it's easy come, easy go. Don't take it personal. Take the bitter with the sweet. All things come to an end. But this time, all things came to an end, meaning the money in my account, the money in my pocket. And I'm tired. I'm tired. When I say I'm effing tired, I'm tired of not recouping. I'm tired of not getting some type of profit. I'm tired of just money just getting thrown out the door. So I actually got some visual evidence to let you know how close I came to actually garnering something and why this particular weekend just really pissed me off. So, yeah, that's what's on tap this week. When I give y'all a special edition of a very popular segment, there's only one way to find out, and that's for y'all to continue to tune in. So, I guess it's the time that usually I would get into a little spiel, but guess what? All the things that's going on in my noggin right now I can kill two birds with one stone, and I can actually talk about them in their dedicated segments because, like, that's the new thing now. Is actually I'm going to be a little bit more organized, organized chaos, if you will, organized confusion. Fudge, pudge. Who stole the last piece of chicken? Yeah, I know it. Matter of fact, I would say the majority of my viewers don't know that, but actually the majority of my viewers that I know are in my age bracket. So they remember organized confusion. They remember fudge, pudge, whoever hold a grudge. They remember all that. So yeah, and who stole this last piece of chicken? And see, I'm about to ramble. So that means it's time for me to get this show on the road. Without further ado, good night. Mwah! And goodbye. Bang! Everybody in the 313, put your motherfucking hands up and follow me. Everybody in the 313, put your motherfucking hands up. Up, up. Yeah. Listen. The movement is strong. I have nothing but respect for the Detroit Lions. I have nothing but respect for their fan base because their fan base is probably is more downtrodden than my team, New York Jets. The Detroit Lions advanced to their first NFC Championship game in over 30 long years. They're going to the Bay to face the San Francisco 49ers after a 31-23 victory over the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, who were very game. Who was very game. I can't say they weren't. They weren't, because at the end of the third quarter, this was a 17-17 game. And they broke the game open in the first half of the fourth quarter, in which Jahmyr Gibbs ran to the left for a 31-yard touchdown to make it 24-17. And then, with about 6:27 remaining, Jared Goff passed to Amon-Ra St. Brown for a 9-yard touchdown to make it 31-17, and effectively, game was over, or so we thought. Baker Mayfield of the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, who, tell you the truth, has probably made himself a pretty penny with his performance in these playoffs, his performance in this past year. But guess what? We're not talking about Tampa Bay. He passed to Mike Evans for a touchdown to close the gap to 31-23. They missed the 2-point conversion. And then, unfortunately, on the last possession that they had, Baker Mayfield threw that costly interception. You know, that interception that everybody knew was coming. And effectively, the game was over. But, you know, the story is really about this man right here, Jared Goff. Jared Goff is, in this story, Eminem. Matter of fact, in this story, he is B Rabbit. You want to know why? You want to know why? Because it's almost similar to that last rap battle in 8 Mile, in which B Rabbit went against Papa Doc. And everybody expected B Rabbit to get his ass bust. Matter of fact, nobody expected B Rabbit to actually get that far. And he took out leaders of the free world one by one by one. And that's similar to what the Detroit Lions are doing right now. They're taking out all the naysayers. They're taking out all the competitors one by one by one. 1 Pac, 2 Pac, 3 Pac, 4 Pac, 2 Pac, 3 Pac, 1. Your Pac, he's Pac, your Pac, none. He's standing there like, yeah, Wink did fuck my girl, but still standing here saying fuck the free world. Yeah, I ain't gonna lie, that's one of my favorite movies. That's one of those movies that, even though, it's kind of contrived to a certain degree, that's one of those movies that when you're channel surfing and you come across that, you're like, yo, it's 8 Mile. Can't go wrong with 8 Mile. I mean, listen, but I digress. Detroit. You know who Detroit reminds me of? And I say remind me of. That means if it doesn't remind you, keep your mother effing mouth quiet. They remind me of my New York Jet teams, 2009 version, 2010 version, the one that go into back-to-back AFC Championship games. If the building was done right. And I say that for this reason. They traded Matthew Stafford for cachet of draft picks, and remember, Jared Goff was a throw-in, pretty much just to make the salaries match, or be like, all right, we just even swap QB for QB. But that trade was known as the Matthew Stafford trade. They figured they were going to get Jared Goff, and by the time they were finished with him, by the time they was really ready to compete, they would move off of Jared Goff. Hopefully would have drafted his heir apparent, and they'd be off to the races. But while they had Jared Goff under this manageable contract, they placed all the requisite pieces. They drafted all the requisite pieces around him. So you have Amon-Ra St. Brown. You have Jahmyr Gibbs, who was actual luxury because they in free agency they got David Montgomery. So you had a two-headed monster in the backfield, similar to how we had with Thomas Jones, and then we drafted Sean Green, and then we foolishly let Thomas Jones go to get LaDainian Tomlinson, and we had Sean Green. But the plan was for Sean Green to take over the mantle later on. Jahmyr Gibbs is 100 times better than Sean Green. We had a defensive-minded coach. Yes, I know. You think about Dan Campbell was a former tight end. Yes. But when I say defensive-minded, I'm not being too literal. I'm talking about defensive-minded as in we're going to be a rough, tough team. We're going to be a hard out. We're not going to give an inch. And remember, the introductory press conference, he was talking about biting mother effers' kneecaps off. The mentality. That's the mentality that the Motor City would gravitate to. They didn't want no shiny new car. This is the Motor City, but this is the city of factories. This is the city of American engineering. It's the city of Motown. Yes. On the freeway of love in my pink Cadillac. Detroit actually had a team that they saw step by step by step by step. It's usually just a cliche when you say you want to end the season strong, even if you do not make the playoffs, because that could be the springboard, that could be the jumping off point to next season. And that victory to knock the Green Bay Packers out of the playoffs last year on the last Sunday night game, last game of Aaron Rodgers' career in Green Bay, to knock them out the playoffs really was the impetus for what we're seeing this season. I know there was a stat that I overheard today in my non-prep for this episode. I believe in the 4 years of Dan Campbell as being head coach of the Detroit Lions, and this is more like a hidden gem football stat, but that's Wednesday, that's Thursday, Monday. That against the spread, do you know that Dan Campbell against the spread is 36-17? That stat in itself tells you that they are always in the game. They are always playing above standard. Now, once their defense gets fully up to snuff, because Aaron Glenn, he's flipped the switch. Aaron Glenn, former cornerback of my New York Jets, defensive coordinator extraordinaire of the Detroit Lions. Once they get the requisite horses, if he doesn't get lured away for his own head coaching opportunity, which I doubt, because we, and when I say we, us black people, we don't really get the creme de la creme of jobs. I'm quite sure the Carolina Panthers are in waiting, like, yeah, Aaron Glenn, yeah, we're gonna get that nigga down at Carolina. he never gonna know what it's hit him, and he gonna be like, you know what? I'm staying up here with a winner. I'm staying up here in these cold in the D. And he likes it. But this, like I said, this was 4 years in the making. This was 4 years in the making, step by step by step, as opposed to what happened with my New York Jets teams back in the day, in which Rex Ryan, another boisterous, another very fiery coach, took over a team, but took over a talent-laden team and kind of ran that into the ground. It's the opposites. Their team has sustained has a chance of sustained success. You can see them climbing up. Now, who do I think going to win that game? See, this is cross promotion. Check out Hidden Gems Football this coming Thursday for my official pick, which you can pick the opposite and probably get some change because, like I told y'all, Mike Steph must have bumped his mother effing head / the kiss of Steph is in effect. But I wanted to lead off with the Lions because of the close proximity of their success, or the close proximity, the parallels that I see from this team to my old Jets teams. Bravo. Look, I'm not a hater. I congratulate. You know, um, it's a little bittersweet. Matter of fact, it's not even bittersweet. It's just I look at them, and out of the 4 teams remaining, I have 2 personal favorites. One, I'm pulling for Lamar Jackson, who we'll talk about in a very few minutes, because I just like people betting on themselves and hitting the jackpot in multiple ways, however you want to take that. And Detroit would be the other team because, like I said, they've come from a place where they were a laughingstock. Don't you know they were like the first ever winless team? 0-16, couple years ago. 0-16. And now, look at them on the doorstep of their first ever Super Bowl appearance. Can't do nothing but salute them. Salute me. Next on the docket, the San Francisco 49ers defeated the Green Bay Packers with some pretty damn luck. Pretty damn lucky, if I do say so myself, because the San Francisco 49ers were primed and ready to be beat. Primed and ready to disappoint their fan base. Primed and ready to bow out in their first playoff game this season and not have a return appearance to the NFC Championship game. I believe this is their 4th appearance in the last 5 years. Think about that. They beat Green Bay a couple years ago to go against the Kansas City Chiefs in a Super Bowl that they ultimately lost. Then last year they lost in Philly due to the fact that they was out with quarterbacks. Year before that, they lost to the eventual Super Bowl champion Los Angeles Rams when a costly dropped interception could have sealed the game for them, but left that door cracked open. So they've been the bridesmaid last 3 out of 4 years, and this year they go in as the prohibitive favorites. But do you know Green Bay had a 21-14 lead going into the 4th quarter? Do you know Green Bay on 2 occasions, one, they eschewed a field goal and went for it, in which they got stopped on 4th down when it was a chip shot. And then they missed a field goal toward the end of the game that could have given them the cushion of, okay, if San Francisco scores, we go to overtime. Not only that, and this is going to be part of, this is going to be the crux of my aggravation when I start talking about my gambling losses this past weekend, because Mike Shanahan, to me, got totally outcoached. Matt LaFleur coached, out schemed, outmaneuvered Mike Shanahan. Mike Shanahan seems like he is just as brilliant as he is in devising and developing plays and just scheming to cover whatever weaknesses he has on his team, which I I would give an out being that Deebo Samuel was injured for I think he was out the majority of the second half, if not the entirety of the second half. But is that really an excuse? Is it is it really an excuse? Think about it. They were favored by 10 in the divisional playoff round. Meaning Vegas pretty much figured, yo, we can make bread off this two ways. One, people are going to jump on the 10 because they're like, look, Green Bay, they're 9-8. Yeah, they beat the Eagles, but the Eagles are already checked out. They had to win their last 3 games just to get into the playoffs. You got a very young team. Matter of fact, the youngest team in the league. Matter of fact, the youngest team definitely in the playoffs. Gimme. I saw how Green Bay played in that wild card game, and yes, some of it would be the lazy. It would be the lazy way to think that everything was due to the ineptness of Philadelphia. No, Green Bay. I'm sorry. Forgive me. The ineptness of Dallas. 2 peas in the pod, but neither here or there. But the way they dismantled Dallas in Dallas made me look at this game like, okay, they might not win, but this is going to be a nip and tuck, and they have a chance to steal this game because people look at the past history of San Francisco just dominating Green Bay in the playoffs. Guess what? Guess who was at the helm or behind center or under center? The majority, matter of fact, not the majority, the entirety of those times, since this last game. Aaron Rodgers. I don't know. It's just something he has a mental block when it comes to San Francisco. Also, something that came across my eyes this week, today, and I believe I'll give credit to Colin Cowherd on the Herd, and he said that, well, in his opinion, he was like, this Green Bay team, they're young. It wasn't for the reckless throw by Jordan Love, we could be looking at a Green Bay Detroit championship game. But not only that, this is probably the worst version of Green Bay that you're going to see in the next 5 years. Okay, slow your horses, maybe. But this is what rings true. The last two games in the playoffs, the wild card and this game, the way Green Bay was able to move the ball, the way Green Bay, especially the offense, was able to pick and choose and just have their way with these quote unquote dominant defenses, makes you wonder if Aaron Rodgers wasn't so selfish with, look, it has to be my way. I know better than the coach, and just let the system actually be the system. Let LaFleur's game planning or game plan actually be the game plan that they implement, and not say, I'm going to check out this play, I'm going to check out this play. I think I know this one better. If there wasn't such a struggle, maybe he would have had more success in the playoffs. Because with Jordan Love, right now, you got somebody plug in with his natural skills, 4 years sitting down, he's playing the way it's designed to play. Now, enough about the eliminated team. Talking about San Francisco. San Francisco, the reason I don't have much to say about San Francisco, because what I've said in the past, and I guess I'm going to continue saying, when they have all their cogs available they're almost unstoppable. But if there's one piece missing, in this case, a hobbled Christian McCaffrey, a non-available Deebo Samuel, Brock Purdy wasn't that dude. If it wasn't optimal conditions, it was a rainstorm. He struggled in non-optimal conditions. Remember that their first loss of the season in Cleveland? Messy conditions, cool, damp, dreary, raining. Missing players, struggling. This game, they tried to control the middle. Everybody knows that. I think they're being found out. Everybody knows that San Francisco, with Purdy, likes to control the middle of the field. A lot of crossings, a lot of posts, a lot of shallow posts, a lot of things in the middle of the field, and a lot of devil may care. I'm going to throw it up, and I'm going to trust my people to get it. Baltimore might have, matter of fact, Baltimore probably had the blueprint on how to stop San Francisco. Just concentrate on stopping everything in the middle, because Purdy, as accurate as he may be, he does not have, you have to, it's the easier throw is for him in the middle. He does not have the cannon of an arm to do those outs on a consistent basis. Yes, he has a nice deep ball, but sometimes that deep ball floats. A lot of it is timing. You throw off the timing, you throw off the timing, and you make him try his deep shots down the field to the outside of the numbers, especially outside the hatches. A lot of Purdy damn lucky balls. A lot of Purdy damn lucky catches. This game, it's kind of too early for me anyway to know what the conditions are. But the one thing about this game, this upcoming game against Detroit, is this: the San Francisco defensive line has not played up to their billing. At least toward the end of the season in this playoff game. Nick Bosa, did he get fat? Wow, he was eating, he got the bag. I don't know. Chase Young, Chase Young name, but there's a reason why. It seems like this. We know there's a reason why Washington walk. The secondary and the linebackers have held San Francisco together, especially Fred Warner. Now, I still have confidence that Detroit is going to be able to move that ball at will against San Francisco. It's going to come down to whether or not Detroit can throw a wrench in San Francisco's offensive game plan on a consistent basis, so it'll be a nip and tuck affair. But one of these times, they're going to have to stop that counterpunch. And that's going to be their key to victory. But once again, I'm not giving my choice, my pick, my prediction. Not yet. Gotta tune in later on this week. But yeah, it's San Francisco did not impress me whatsoever. And I'm not gonna lie, I got even more of a gripe with San Francisco that we'll get into in just a little bit. Now, I ain't gonna lie, I'm a little cheesy, a little Chester cheesy, a little Chester Cheeto. Look at the band I chose. Trying to be witty with the play on words. Chiefs, Sin, Bills, Mahomes. Yeah, that is so corny. But it's true. It's true. The Chiefs sent the Bills home packing from the playoffs for the third time in the last 4 years. This is probably the worst iteration of the Kansas City Bills that the the Kansas City Chiefs that the Bills have faced in this rivalry of sorts the last couple years. But yet, they still could not get the job done. The Chiefs, they were down 17-13 at the half. And it was a back and forth struggle. I wouldn't even say back and forth struggle. Up until toward the end of the third quarter, there was a stretch in which I believe 5 or 6 straight possessions ended in a score. Neither side was stopping neither side. But one of the things that I said this past week at HGF that seemed like it was the Achilles heel of the Kansas City Chiefs and why I picked against Kansas City in this game was the fact that in the past, when Kansas City got into the red zone, they was able to punch it in. In the game against Miami, which they bludgeoned them 26-7, they had to set up 4 field goals, all within the red zone. This game, it started out as if it was going to be one of those games, but quickly we found out the heart of a champion, so to speak. Marquez Valdes-Scantling catching the ball. Clutch catching. No, he caught the ball. Like you had Raheem Reed or Raheem Rice getting clutch catches, but we had the resurrection of the corpse formerly known as Travis Kelce, who scored 2 touchdowns, and he seemed to be that dominant force that he had been the last 6-7 years running. Another part of their success was the ground game in which I think they amassed close to 150 yards on the ground. Isaiah Pacheco bruising back, bludgeoning them. Patrick Mahomes even had a 30-some-odd yard scamper with his. He looked so funny running, but yet he picks up so much ground. Like, it amazes me. Andy Reid almost got too cute for his good. Toward the end of the third quarter, or was it the fourth quarter? I can't remember. But there was a play inside the 10-yard line in which they gave a handoff to McCole Hardman, and McCole Hardman had a chance to put the nail in the coffin of the Buffalo Bills, and he fumbled on the 1-yard line into the end zone, which became a touchback. And that was the last gasp of life for Buffalo. But the reason why they was put in that position is because Sean McDermott did one of the most idiotic things I can remember done in such a pressurized moment. It's one thing to go for it on 4th down on your end of the field when you're down. But there was like matter of fact, there were probably like 8-9 minutes remaining in the game. It was not dire need. But that isn't the egregious part. The egregious part is if you're going to go for it on 4th down, use your offense. Use Josh Allen. Use I wouldn't say the myriad of weapons because, Buffalo was banged up, especially on defense. And the offense, they was catching casualty after casualty after casualty. But it would have been better to do that than do a fake punt and DeMar Hamlin was stopped like 5 yards short of the first down. It wasn't even close. So you gave Kansas City prime real estate plus territory with like 35 yards in. They got the ball already in field goal range. And they had proven up until that point that they could not stop Kansas City. Now, the only thing I will say about going for it on fourth down, which I could understand, is because Buffalo's punter coming into that game was hampered due to an injured hamstring, and they actually signed the punter to put on the practice squad, but they deemed the punter to be healthy enough that they got rid of the punter, so they had no backup. And some of those punts that he was kicking, you could tell that he wasn't 100%. There was a lot of shanks. A lot of times they got yardage strictly based on the ball bouncing and rolling and accumulating 20, 30 yards or 15, 20 yards. Yeah, it was interesting. So, like I said, I'm not even mad at the fact that they went for it on fourth down. It's like, but use your best weapons to go for it on fourth down. Don't special teams. DeMar Hamlin. This thought in my mind that I would refrain from saying because that would be like so not cool. And I spit in the face of people who don't want to be cool. Funny thing is, I have an apple a day, and you know what they say: apple a day keeps the doctor away. And best believe it's true. It's true. But either here or there. Now, where does this leave the Buffalo Bills? I don't know. I know next year's version is going to be way different than this year's version. Remember, this year's version needed 5 straight victories just to get into the postseason tournament. And they was riding a 6-game winning streak. But every game, they was down numerous defensive backs, safeties, linebackers. They were pretty much almost done. They were done. So I'll say this when it comes to Buffalo. Now, last year, Stephon Diggs probably had a leg to stand on with his displeasure of Josh Allen and the way he was being used. There was at least 2 occasions yesterday that Stephon Diggs had the ball. Josh Allen delivered that ball on the money that could have potentially changed the game numerous times, and Stephon Diggs did not come through. Along with Sheffield Jr., excuse me, who kept on trying to catch the ball with his arms, with his body, and everybody knows, well, at least top tier players know that that's not the way you go. That's not what you do. If you can, catch it with your hands, bring it into the body. Kept trying to catch you with the arms, and you're not that nice. It's a recipe for disaster. So, Kansas City reached their 6th straight AFC Championship game, this time on the road, first time on the road in the AFC Championship game. And they're about to go against, well, y'all know they're about to go. You can't stop the rain. You can't stop the rainfall when it starts to fall. When it starts to fall, no one can stop him. No one can stop him when it starts to fall. When it starts to fall. Lamar. I'm not even going to put the Jackson at the end of it. Lamar. When I say Lamar, everybody know. And for the audio listeners, I'm talking about Lamar effing Jackson. Because I got a picture on there. That's why I'm saying Lamar. Anyway, the reason I was saying that little ditty, because when I think of Lamar, you know who I think about? BMF. You can't stop the rain. You can't stop the rain. See, Lamar Jackson. I mean, listen. I'm just gonna say this. Lamar Jackson won. He already won. I mean, he beat the Houston Texans this past weekend to advance to his first ever AFC Championship game. Not only that, guess what? He has it in the comfy confines of M&T Bank Stadium. I think that's the name of the stadium, unless they changed the sponsorship. I don't know. I'm not from B-More. No disrespect. I'm just saying. I'm a New York native. To tell you the truth, I'm going down to Maryland, going down there a couple weeks. You know, got a baby shower to go to. You know, hopefully get me some crabs. Yeah, listen. I'm not a crab eater. I'm not a crab either. You know, on the rail. All you crab niggas know the deal on the rail. But I would be a fool to be in the state of Maryland and not get me some type of crab meat, crab cake, crab dip, crab, just crab. I know my wife's going to eat some. Hey, see. I get all flustered when I start talking about crabs. Sure, they're so good. They're so damn good. But yeah, Lamar Jackson I'm probably pulling for him the most out of these four quarterbacks. Matter of fact, I'm probably pulling for Baltimore the most out of these four teams remaining. Because look at how far we've come from the offseason. Remember, Lamar Jackson didn't have a contract. He wasn't so much of a holdout, but, well, he wanted a contract extension. In Baltimore, the brain trust there, I don't know why they were playing games because they ultimately end up giving him the bread, but they pretty much like, go ahead, gouge your value, and then we'll see what we do. And everybody kept on saying, we good. And I'm like, look, whoa. There's a former MVP, a dual threat, someone still in his prime, 26, 25, 27 years old. And all these teams that this past season has shown that they were not good when it came to the quarterback position, didn't even sniff. Like he wasn't worth two first round picks. He wasn't worth a cachet of 2 first round picks, 3 second round picks, and giving him the bag. And for his credit, he was like, look, y'all franchised me before. I ain't falling for that. I knew this was going to come. And that's why, well, he didn't say it in these returns, but he was like, look, that's why last year, when there was some type of question about the stability of my knee, y'all wasn't going to ride me into the ground. Y'all wasn't going to workhorse me before y'all gave me the bag. And I don't got no type of bed to fall on, no bed of money. Nah, man. Nah. Y'all done got me effed up. This is what I want. This is what I deserve. This is guaranteed money I want. I don't want that paper funny money. I want guarantee. Guarantee. That's what I want in this bitch. And everybody, through the media, they were sending little messages, little subs. Well, Lamar, maybe he should just get himself an agent instead of representing himself or allowing his mother to represent him and all this other stuff. And Lamar's like, nah. I'm going to do this the way I want to do this. Y'all need me more than I need y'all. And somebody probably be like, what do you mean they need him more than he needs them? Exactly what the hell I said. Do you think Baltimore will ever be on this position I don't care how great their defense is. I don't care how great the scheme was that they can plug a backup in and keep and have a representative, play out of it or representative production out of it. There's no such thing as representative production out of it. Competitive, possibly. Representative, no way. If they had to start from scratch without Lamar Jackson, Lamar gambled on himself. He won. And this year, he's been on a mission. Like, I'm going to check my trusty ass notes because I want to run down the amount, what the specific teams that they beat and beat convincingly. They beat Cleveland at Cleveland early in the season, 28-3. Detroit came in to be more in one of the early marquee matchups. They beat them 38-6. Seattle came in to be more, got throttled. Seattle was 5-2 at the time, got throttled, 37-3. Cincinnati, when they was starting to try to heat up, they came in to be more, 34-20. Jacksonville went down to Jacksonville, smashed them. The Rams were the closest. They took them to overtime, and they still fell to the Ravens. Fell to the Ravens. And, of course, that Monday night massacre in the Bay, where they went to San Francisco and smashed them too, 33-19. Then came home on a short week and put a 56 spot against those fraudulent Miami Dolphins. So, this is not a paper champion here. It's not a paper good team here. This is not a team with multiple question marks. And now this battle with Kansas City should be the ultimate battle for the supremacy, even though I'm already getting notifications saying, well, is this going to be is this the rivalry that we all need to look for? Mahomes versus Lamar. Just the last 2 years, y'all was riding Mahomes and Burrow's dick. Prior to that, it was Mahomes and Josh Allen. Now, all of a sudden, y'all want to be on some Mahomes and Lamar. And this is where Lamar gets to have the last laugh. I'm not saying he doesn't have any excuse, but this is optimist Lamar. Peak of his powers, Lamar Jackson. At home, he has weapons. He can beat you with his legs, and he can beat you with the arm, and he can beat you in the pocket or outside. And this defense is nothing to play with. Everybody that's going into B-more has left with the L, with the big L. Let's see. They lost to Indianapolis early in the season, and they lost to Cleveland. So they got 2 L's at home, but the Indianapolis one was kind of a fluke, and Cleveland, that was after winning 5 out of 6. So, the odds were definitely in Cleveland's favor. But if y'all really think that Lamar Jackson's going to come this close, and not get the job done, I just said how vulnerable Kansas City's been all season, right? And I just ran down the list, the gauntlet of teams that Baltimore has not only vanquished, but demolished, but destroyed, right? You put 2 and 2 together, and you'll probably have a good idea where I'm leaning. But once again, no picks. But you can't stop the rain. You can stop the rainbow when it starts to fall. When it starts to fall. Oh, oh, oh. No one can beat that. When it starts to fall. When it starts to fall. I know Stitch is looking at me like, yo, what's up? Have a Coke in its mouth. Shut the fuck up. Look at this raggedy shit. Like, really. What I'm showing on the screen right now are subway barriers. They're doing a pilot program in New York City subway system at, I think, 3 or 4 locations, or implementing subway barriers to try to stop or prevent people from either getting pushed onto the tracks or just getting access to the tracks and causing delays, causing damage, causing mayhem. But look at this raggedy shit. As opposed to this. This, I believe, is a train station in France. I don't know if it's Gay Paris, but France. You see how it's pretty much taller than this? See how it's automated, as in everything is closed off, there's no gaps. When the train comes in, they magically open up, they allow you to exit, they allow you to entry, and then when the train pulls out, there is no access whatsoever to the tracks. This shit looks like a police barricade. That, matter of fact, I think they have more protection on the barricades at a WWE Raw show, which is currently on, by the way, than this. I mean, just looking at this picture, oh, wow, there's a barricade over there. Let me go around. Oh, wow, there's a barricade over there. Let me jump over it. I swear. This city, this town near to Anima, like, I'm going to choose my words wisely, which is funny because, like, when do I ever choose my words wisely on the salty thoughts of Mike stuff? But that's why I have some laughing emojis, because where's this money coming from? Is it coming from the added revenue that they have garnered due to a fare increase? Has it Is it coming from the added revenue that they're about to garner from my next topic, which is congestion pricing? Has this has they have Is this going to come from the revenue that they're lacking due to all the rampant fare evasion? Is this going to come from the taxpayers? Are they going to take desperately needed funds from the ongoing migrant situation here in NYC to fund this, to actually improve on this? I wish I would have took a picture of the newest technology that they're trying to implement, that they're implementing at certain stations with the new uh, subway turnstiles, in which they open and they close. Not realizing that people can just go underneath and crawl under, or, as I've noticed on TikTok, there's a new way that you could just put your hand over to the other side and somehow, some way, without divulging, just check it out on TikTok. It's rampant, and that'll open it up. And the videos that I saw, there was a couple cops eating a donut, a couple cops sipping their coffee, a couple cops on their phone, a couple police officers, if you will, to give them a little respect. Just looking at this situation like, not my problem. Don't know what to tell you. Just saying. Just saying. Like, I swear, this is so cheap. Like, look at this. Like, what is this supposed to prevent? Never mind about how nasty they're going to get, because at certain stations, you don't think there's people that's going to take a piss, that's going to take a dump right on this. So that yellow is going to become orange. It's going to come brown. It's going to come just rusted. It's going to have Earl on it. I feel sorry for the porters of the station, because they're going to probably be tasked with having to clean this crap instead of, like them actually doing something that's just. Anyway, enough about that. Nurse Jackie is at it again. Look at her. Put him up. Put him up. What you gonna do? What you gonna do? Put him up. Nurse Jackie, Governor Hochul, and I'm going to read this because the last 2 days, the New York Post had put out articles on Governor Hochul's declaring war already, before it's even implemented, declaring war on New York City congestion toll beaters with a fraud proposal in the new budget that she's putting together. Put them up. I'm going to read verbatim so I don't get anything twisted. Drivers who evade the controversial $15 congestion pricing toll to enter Midtown Manhattan will be treated like criminals under legislation introduced by Governor Kathy Hochul. Hochul included a toll fraud proposal in her $233 billion state budget plan. The measure would allow cops to charge drivers with a Class A misdemeanor toll theft, defined as fraudulently attempting to obtain a credit, discount, or exemption from tolls. Scammers who evade paying tolls valued at more than $1,000 could get slapped with a Class E felony and a Class D felony for pocketing tolls valued at more than $3,000. Misdemeanors can result in up to 1 year of jail time. The new law, if enacted by the legislature, would generate $35 million to $45 million in revenue for guess who? The MTA. The MTA will collect toll imposed to enter the Central Midtown Business District as early as May to fund, quote unquote, transportation operations and infrastructure that is currently being lost due to theft of public services, i.e., fare evasion. The penalties would take place 90 days after becoming law. The governor also recommends imposing a fine of $100 to $500 on drivers passing through license plate readers with intentionally obscure plates to avoid paying tolls on all New York's toll bridges and tunnels. The bill also authorizes police to confiscate material that covers license plates and raise the minimum fine in such instances to $250. Drivers caught beating the tolls on the Hudson River and East River crossings and the Thruway Authority would also be busted for theft of service. The bill also calls for outlawing the sales of vantage plates and other fake license plates that cover the real license plates. Yeah, you know, all those temporary plates, those temporary Texas plates in the state of New York. Yeah, those. The crackdown would generate an additional 35 to 55 million dollars for toll collection agencies, including the MTA, the Port Authority of New York and New Jersey, and will take place 1 year after becoming law. As the Post reported last week, Hochul is backing the MTA's push to overhaul how fair beating is policed, with proposals that will increase fines for repeat offenders, but let first-time offenders off with just a warning, just a slap on the wrist, just a shake of the finger. The MTA thanked Governor Hochul for going after toll cheaters in this age of high tech. Ain't this about a bitch? But there's more. And I'm depriving the masses from looking at my lovely face, so I'm gonna read this on screen. Right, Stitch? Yeah, they was getting a little bit, they was getting a little bit bothered, like, where's Mike Steph? Where's that dashing debonair dude? Yeah, Triple D. And we ain't talking about diners, drive-ins, and dives. Governor Hochul would slam congestion toll cheats, but why not fare beaters and other crooks? Another article. Governor Hochul has finally found the group of scofflaws that she's willing to stand up to. Congestion pricing cheaters. On her state budget plan, in her state budget plan, the governor included harsh penalties for people who cheat on Manhattan's coming $15 congestion toll. Now, the act of dodging the toll would become a Class A misdemeanor. Sure seems like a stark contrast to our first part. First one's free, second one's half price proposal on fair beating. Now let's get this straight. The governor's a squish when it comes to subway and bus fare beating, a crime that cost the MTA, a fiscally imperiled agency under her aegis, $690 million a year. But she's hardcore for law and order when it comes to congestion toll cheats, a new class of offenders that doesn't even exist yet. Make that make sense. Make that make sense. Okay, I'm gonna put her being back on this screen for one reason. I got a story. Matter of fact, yeah, I got a story. Last month, I get this phone call, right? Random ass phone call. Ring, ring. Well, it's not really like that because cell phone. Anyway, I get this random ass phone call, and the lady on the line is, "Hello, is this Michael Steffens?" I'm like, may I ask who's calling? Just to let you know, this call is being recorded. Okay. Is this Michael Steffens? May I ask who's calling? Oh, I can let you know that after you verify your name and your address. I'm like, all right, it's Mike. All right, can you verify your address? No. Who is this? Oh, well, we'll let you know that after. I'm like, no, that's not how it works. So whatever you're calling me for, you can get in touch with me another way because guess what? I'm not verifying anything on the phone over the phone that you're not even alerting me to who is asking for all this pertinent information, especially in the age of scammers. And I'm supposed to give my name and my address to somebody who's not even identifying themselves. Okay, fine. So it's like, well, we'll send you a letter in the mail. Yeah, you do that. So I get a letter in the mail. I get a letter in the mail, right? And matter of fact, this is not even. I shouldn't even put her on the screen. So I'm gonna put myself back on the screen because this actually has no beef for. I don't have no beef for her when it comes to this. This is more like me and Benson. So I get a letter in the mail saying that matter of fact, I get an email saying that yeah, your car is at risk of being booted or towed due to a balance of $160. I'm like, whoa. Since when does that happen? Like, usually, like, look, everybody know the scheme. Keep your balance under 350, and look, you don't got to worry about getting told to boot it. Not so fresh, my friend. So I get this letter stating that, yeah. So I paid it. I'm like, look, I can't afford for my shit to be booted or told. Pay it. Scare tactic. But I paid it. It worked. So I get the letter in the mail from Penn Credit Company, right? Saying that, oh, we attempted to contact you due to your balance, due to the amount of the ticket from New York City Finance of $160. Balance is zero. Guess what? Balance is zero because I paid it. So that means when whole girl was calling me, what the fuck you calling me for? I already paid it. Fine. So we fast forward to last week. Phone rings. I'm looking at the number. I'm like, something told me to answer, so I answer it. As soon as I hear this phone call is being recorded, I'm like, oh, okay. All right. I know who this is. So it's like, yeah. It's like, is this Michael Steffens? Yeah. Can you verify your address? I'm like, whoa. Somebody just called me last week. Like, y'all gotta identify yourselves. So now this lady's like, look, I'm calling from Penn Credit, blah, 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 blah. So I need to verify your address so I can tell you exactly why we're calling. Now, since I'm familiar with Penn Credit, okay, fine. Yeah, my address is such as, all right, what address you got on file? Yeah, that's my address. Okay, fine. So they tell me, yeah, we're calling to see if you can make a payment on the amount of 100, blah, 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 blah. I'm like, look, I just paid that. No. So we get into a back and forth. Long story short, I said, you know what? Once I looked and realized this was another ticket, I said, okay, you know what? Don't worry about it. I was like, all right, fine. I'll pay it. I'm going to take care of it. I'm looking. I see what you're referring to. Not a problem. Fine. I'll take care of it. Click. And actually, I took care of it. I'm like, whoa, they're really sending my shit to collections for less than $1.50. Now this one's $1.25. So years ago, when I lived in Pennsylvania, I didn't realize because there's such an abundance of parking, at least back then, that you get a parking ticket, $25 or $20, probably more now. They give you a week. Second week, $30. Third week, $40. About a month, $50. If you don't pay it after that month, they don't boot your car. They don't tow your car. This is a Commonwealth state. You know what they do? They put a warrant out for your arrest. A warrant. I'm like, wow. So we had moved back up, but I was still getting my mail down there. And I had a car that I lent somebody, let them rock. And they just treated my car like a piece of shit and allowed my car to accumulate tickets. I had seven parking tickets. Parking tickets. Not moving out violations, parking tickets, right? You know, I had 7 warrants out for my arrest. So my people, they let me know that's like, yo, Mike, which guard? Look, the magistrate sent you this in the mail. We didn't want to open your mail, but when we see the magistrate, we figure we need to know what's going on. So give you the heads up. And yeah, you got 7 warrants. I'm like, for what? Parking tickets. Parking ticket. Yeah, that's how they get down here. What? So all this starting to add up. You got Nurse Jackie putting misdemeanors and felonies. Now, picture you get 3 felonies for unpaid tolls. You go to jail for life. Remember, NY. Look, 3 strikes and you out. You get misdemeanors for toll evasion, not fare evasion, toll evasion. You get a parking ticket, no matter the amount, if you don't pay it within that month, they putting your shit in collection and trying to F up your credit. Some bullshit. So you mean to tell me that this cocksucker, Mr. Get Stuff Done, GSD, you know what GSD means? Get stuff done. You mean to tell me Mr. GSD don't got nothing to do with this? Mr. GSD talks out one end right after the other. Like, there's a lot of things on my mind that I could say. Matter of fact, and I'm gonna say this. This is why New York is going to shit. This is why I can't wait. I got 4 years and change before I'm up out of here. Only thing keeping me in the city right now is my JOB, because I want to get my full pension. But this is why everybody's fleeing the city, because we got funding for everything else. We got funding for people that's coming from outside the city here. That's as far as I'm gonna go. Matter of fact, we got funding for everything else. Even though this country got funding for everything else. Billions and billions and billions and billions and billions of dollars going overseas to various wars that have nothing to do with us. Imagine if we spent all that money that we're sending to the Middle East. Matter of fact, that we're sending to Israel, and we're sending to the Ukraine, and we kept that in the country. Why do we have homeless? Why do we have people starving? Why do we have the have and the have-nots? Why? Maybe if we even kept that money inside, then okay, this influx of migrants that's coming into the country, then maybe, just maybe, we could take care of them. But one hand doesn't want to watch the other. And meanwhile, the person in the middle is getting screwed. The person in the middle, such as moi, you know, the blue-collar hero to the masses, is getting screwed. I'm getting fucked with no Vaseline. And no pause on that. Because that's how it is. I'll give one last thing. Because, shoot, I'm actually going long this week. Fuck it. My place of business screwed us. They don't give us a bonus. Matter of fact, they gave us some bread. Fine. They tax that shit 50%, 49%. Okay, listen, I already knew what it was. Then at the end of the year, if you got some leftover vacation time, supposed to cash it out. No problem. Which I have no problem with. They tax that shit at 49%. Even though that's working, whatever. Then we had some back money we were supposed to get. First time in my 20 years of service, we got back money. And guess what? That back money was chopped into a separate check. And guess how much it was taxed? 49%. So I'm getting screwed. I'm not getting all my money up front when I'm getting this back money. That's not my fault. You want to wait until December. Now we know why you want to wait until December. Let that shit accumulate to the point that you don't really receive any of it. Oh, but you can put it on taxes. Guess what? When you get to a certain threshold, you don't receive no fucking refund. You're trying to break even. Breaking even is a win. If you get a couple $100, that's a win. You know how many fucking rebates and tax write-offs you gotta have just to get a little piece of change? So I'm getting screwed in September. I'm getting screwed in November. I'm getting screwed in December. And guess what? It's January. So next month, when it's full-fledged tax season, guess what? They're gonna Abner Louima my ass. With no Vaseline. Please. And now y'all want to know why I'm so upset. Why I could be the ornery one. Why I could be in such an ornery mood. Why? Just why? Mike Steph must have bumped his motherfucking head. AKA, my gambling picks for the week over this past weekend. And this time, I got video evidence. Those are my bets. Well, matter of fact, that's one of my bets for this week, this past week. I had a 4-pick parlay. I had the Ravens -10, which they covered 34-10. I had the Packers +10, which was working out because they only lost by 3. I had Aaron Jones +40 yards. He had like over 100, so that was kind of modest. I had Christian McCaffrey over 60 yards, which is kind of modest because he had like 80, 90 yards. But you see that little red? You know that red dot? There's a red dot on your head. No, there's a red dot on my parlay. That red dot says Brock Purdy passing attempts under 30.5. Due to some information, due to some, I wouldn't say insider trading, but due to some trust issues, well, this trust I had in this one individual who will not be named, made a stat last week that said that when Brock Purdy throws over 30 times, I believe they have a horrendous record. Pretty much, I know it's a losing record. So I say, you know what? Being the fact that I think 49ers are going to win, and I don't think they're going to air it out, I'm going to go with Brock Purdy under 30.5. Do you know this mother effer threw it 39 times? 39 times? 39 times? 39 times. It was El Coryell out this bitch. Cliff Kingsbury. Why? That cost me a nice chunk of change, potential chunk of change. I'm not going to say how much I put on that parlay. But let's put it this way. If I would have hit that parlay, then that would have offset the amount of money I had to pay in parking tickets due to my shit about to go to collections. And it would have paid for this nice shave I got yesterday. And I would have had some money left over, which sorely needed because my anniversary, it's my anniversary. Do you know what today is? It's my anniversary. My anniversary is actually next month, which I'll let y'all know closer to, because guess what? Your boy will not be recording that weekend. And matter of fact, I did not sleep. I will not be sleep with my lovely wife. No, I won't. Matter of fact, I will be up all night. Why am I shaking? Is this what's gonna happen? Like when I get into my 60s and stuff, and I'm trying to handle my business, all of a sudden I'm gonna be like, damn, anyway, yeah. So I think that was a good try. That was a good try, but the part that I'm really wanting to put down on this, I mean, tie this up in a bow. But this is the first time, especially this year, that I literally got pissed off. I didn't get pissed off at nobody in particular. No. Don't get me wrong. No subliminals, no hitting shots. I got pissed off at the frustration of, like I've hit like we're in week 20 and I've cashed in twice. this year? Twice. So that's what? 10% of the time? If that's 10% of the time. I don't know. Listen, math wasn't my best subject. But I had to let the people know, I had to let the bros know, like, yo, I'm about this close to deleting all the betting apps off my phone. And when I say all, I mean DraftKings, because I've been got rid of FanDuel. Maybe I need to switch back over to FanDuel. I don't know. But I'm always off by one. Always off by one. Maybe it's because I'm going too far. Maybe I should just do individuals. Like, you know what? All right, I'm just gonna put everything on this game. The game, not the prop bets, because it seems like the prop bets are what's getting me in trouble. Trying to elongate that parlay is getting me in trouble. Look, gone to the days of the 8 leg. Gone to the days of the 5 leg. That was a 4 leg. A simple 4 leg. I even was minuscule in the amount of rushing yards for Aaron Jones and CMC. Passing attempts. I lost based on passing attempts. Something is wrong with that picture. It's all right. It's all right. It's all right. One of these times, I will get it right. And when I get it right, y'all are in for some. That's going to be an epic show. Anyway, I would say that brings us to an end of another edition, but not quite yet. Not so fast, my friend. I have to do some promotion. A little bit of promotion. This past weekend was another edition of Hidden Gems Football. Back on the OG channel of the 19 Media Group. Hidden Gems Football. And just to give you a sneak peek of what you missed, check this out. Oh, forgive me. I'm sorry. Yeah. Me and Stitch were just having a conversation. That's all.
Yeah. At least you're not throwing up hand signs at me anymore.
Yeah. Don't mind us. We bonded over the week that you was gone. That's all. Ride a shotgun.
Yeah.
I'm just saying. Sure, you in trouble when you give me a prop. Fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice, no, it will not be a twice. See, when he was talking about hand signs, I'm gonna take y'all behind the curtain, because I wasn't really able to divulge that on this past week's edition, because like it was a super fast edition. We was in and out, like I used to do back in the days, in and out. Anyway, so in the lead up to us recording, we had a couple hurdles we had to overcome, right? Hidden Gems Football, matter of fact, here it goes. About to scroll again. Okay. Hidden Gems Football, hosted by the Mojo King and me, Mike Steph. New episodes drop each and every Thursday on the YouTube channel of the 19 Media Group. But yeah, being the fact that we was in a rush, couldn't really get into it, but we kind of, hinted at. When he said throwing up hand signs, no, we're not talking about game size and all that shit. No. So lead up, we get together, okay, at a certain time, whatever, but we was a little delayed. This time on his behalf. He had some business he had to take care of. He had, then he had some technical difficulties. And we're communicating because he called me, give me the heads up. Like, look, if this doesn't go through, we might have to just squash it for this week. Okay, fine. Then I guess his technical difficulties, even themselves out. So he sends me a text. Yeah, everything is a go, right? For that. So as the years go by, matter of fact, not the years go by, as the days go by, I am starting to become blind as a bat without my trusty glasses, especially when it comes to reading stuff. So I'm looking at the text, and this is where emojis go wrong. I meant to try to send him the crossing finger sign, like hopefully technical difficulties will allow us to get through it. And instead, I sent them the middle finger, which leading up to, if he could have looked at that and be like, you know what? Damn, I can understand his pain, but damn, Mike, I was just on the phone with you. So as soon as I looked and put my glasses on, saw that this was up and not this, I was like, oh, sugar honey iced tea. So sent a little voice memo, like, yo, this is crazy. He looked at it, he looked at it, he was like, damn. But like he knew it was a mistake or whatever, but it's just funny, like he's like, all right, which go, we're already delayed by an hour and change. And all of a sudden, he's like, yeah, all right, ready to go. Nah, fuck you. Be ready to go for an hour and a half. It was just hilarious, just the chain of events, So, like I said, I could do it on here because due to our structure, couldn't do it over there. We just had to allude to it. But anyway, yeah, that let the cat out the bag. That's what the fuck happened, right? So yeah, that was crazy. It was hilarious. Yeah. So that brings us to the end of another edition of the Salty Thoughts of Mike Steph podcast. I'd like to thank each and every one of y'all for making me the one you choose to listen to, the one you choose to view, and the one you choose to listen to. Each and every Salty Thoughts of Mike Steph podcast is available on the following platforms: Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and Amazon Music. New episodes drop each and every Wednesday. Yes, for the new year, I'm going to go back to getting right on task, and new episodes will drop on Wednesdays. Check me out on X at Mike Steffens _. Check me out on the gram at Mike _Steph, and check me out on TikTok at Mike Steph _. Next week, I have no idea. This one I cobbled up together. I think this is pretty a good representative episode. I gave the sports people everything they need to know in the first half, and then I gave everybody else the best of the rest. Maybe that's probably going to be the format going forward. Or, well, everybody knows that I try to keep it sports related, but I'm such a multifaceted dude that a lot of times I can't keep it multifaceted. I mean, I can't keep it just singular. And a lot of times that's where the magic happens, when I start veering off here. And I can see myself rambling right now. So I'm really going to try to get out of here because it's already past the 90-minute mark. And this is one of the longest episodes that I've had in a while. Before I get out of here, though, I will like to give a shout out to my brothers at Gimmick Infringement, Winchester and McDowell. A big salute to Mrs. Winchester for past birthday that's recently passed, and for the Detroit Lions making it to the NFC Championship game, and for allowing Brad to finally get that elusive pop that he's been searching for. Check out their episode this week where they give a bachelor preview. A rose from Tyler. Like, did we just finish with the Bachelor? No, but that was the Golden Bachelor. A rose for Tyler. Bachelor preview, and they have a special guest. From what I remember, Cedric from Women's Wrestling Talk to preview the Royal Rumble. As always, great show. I have yet to see it, but I am going to do that probably as soon as Raw gets off my screen. I will catch up with Gimmick Infringement. I'd like to give a shout out to my brother, Money Mike. Happy Born Day. You know, I hope everything is, hope your birthday was the best it could be, the best you can be, and the best that you wanted it to be. Happy Born Day, brother. And last but not least, I'd like to give a shout out to the proprietors of this hoodie that I have on, you know, the Black Wrestling Podcast, the homies, Fam, Math, Kyle, the Queen Mimi, each and every Thursday on the YouTube channel of Black Wrestling, BRP Live, 8:35 Eastern. And of course, check out the Black Wrestling Patreon. Pay to 1 or pay to 10. You'll be glad you did. All right, haven't done that in a while, but listen, better late than never, right? Salute, y'all. So with all that being said, I'm going to get up out of here. It's a minute. You know what? Let me just get up out of here. I would check y'all next week for another edition of the Salty Thoughts of Mike Steph podcast. Right, Stitch? Ooh. I was going to give them another, you know, a segment of whoa! But I said, you know what? We can say that for next week because it's only smoking mirrors now. Goodbye.